Top of the morning to you. It's Dave. It's the Too Much Dip podcast. How you doing? I'm David.
150.
Some people are listening to this in the morning, possibly. You can listen to it whenever you want. It's a podcast. It's kind of the beautiful thing about the platform, the audio medium. It's a Too Much Dip pod. Look, it's Monday. We got a big show on our hands. I'm not going to D around. I'm going to introduce these guys, and we can just jump right into the important stuff. Joining me in studio, as always, it's Dylan Shivery in a non-Von Dutch hat.
Definitely not a VD.
That's huge for you.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. Very happy to be here, man. It's going to be a good show. I feel it in my plums. I'm ready to talk about all of it, man. We got A-Raj coming up. We got the Southern chick with the bars, like all kinds of fun shit to talk about.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, we call that a teaser, a showbiz.
We did. I had a specific way I wanted to intro that song, and you just kind of.
Well, you should have told me.
You
that.
slammed its dick in the door, but
no, no, it's on a T for you. Do whatever you want with it.
Hey, speaking of doing what I want, I don't know. It was KJ.
You were gonna go D in the door.
No, I was not. It's KJ Ellis. KJ, if you guys are new here, KJ lives in Madison, Wisconsin.
I do. Welcome to the coldest, rainiest place I've ever been today. The very first time since living here that I've felt like, man, this weather could be a notch better. Like I could brag about it if it didn't suck like it does today. But with that said, very, very happy to be here. Sans, kids. I bragged about having just solo dad week last week while the wife was on a work trip.
Nice.
That hit when an ice storm hit. So your boy got to go into his bilingual presentation with 2 kids in tow. It went about as well as you could expect.
Dude,
Nobody got to hear my Spanish.
Oh, I was gonna say, how much Spanish did you drop? Because we got a Babel read coming up. If you want to save this story,
if you want to read it in Spanish, even though it's written in English, just translate it for us, KJ. That'd be fantastic.
I'll let the people out there use theater of the mind imagine what that would sound like. But I'll just lay my cards on the table. It did not go as I hoped it would. A lot of siéntate. That means sit down in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, very cool. We got a big show. Dylan teased it, but we got a lot going on. We're going to spend a bulk of this show on the final 4 episodes of Full Swing, but there's a couple things we got to do before we get into it. I think we would be doing ourselves a big disservice if we did not discuss potential songs of the summer. It's almost springtime. Our producer Randy informed us earlier it's shredding season for him. He's trying to cut a little bit, and no summer is complete without a song of. And I'd like to introduce one Katie Noel or Katie Noel, depending on what. How would somebody from what seems to be the very deep South say Noel?
No.
Southeast Kentucky, and I believe she goes with Noel.
Okay. Well, Randy, if without further delay, if you could just give us a little bit of bars. All right, stop.
Smoking, drinking, fighting, riding. What else? She's doing a lot.
This is what you're going to. This is you, a Texas fan. This is what you have to look forward to every week. This is you now. You have to like this, and it's not okay if you don't.
She's a perfect 10, but she's got the hottest new Southern rap out there. She's got hella bars.
Do you think how much did the SEC pay for this song?
Hard to say, really.
They had to slide her a little bit of a bag, right? Or did she just drop this on her own, hoping stupid shows like ours would pick up on it?
Yeah, and you know what?
Because it worked.
She's doing numbers. 11.9 million views on this Twitter video. That's just Twitter.
Ooh,
It's probably doing hella numbers on the YouTubes. She's got a massive following on the Grom.
There's a big market out there for terrible music. That's something we've learned doing these shows. KJ, initial thoughts. I know you're really big into SEC football.
Whatever the audio version of Let me rephrase this. What's the lady's name from White Lotus?
Aubrey Plaza.
Jennifer
Coolidge.
what? Okay.
Winner of the
Whatever
SAG
the
Award
audio
last night.
There you go. So whatever the audio version of what her face looks like when she's concerned, that's what this song sounds like to me. It sounds like Jennifer Coolidge face. Like it just makes me meltingly, depressingly sad.
Wow.
And part of that is of ownership of like, you hear the guitar riff in there and I'm like, oh shit, are we going to get like a POD revival?
No.
And then you get hit with like some rap lyrics. And like, I have to own like, damn, 15 years ago, would I have said this is kind of tight? Would I have tried to defend this like after rotating off of like a Hoobastank third album that nobody should have listened to? And I don't know that my answer is completely a no. And for that, I'm both sad and upset with myself.
Randy, can you give us a little bit more of Katie's Song of the Summer candidate? Stop.
She's sinking bobbers, dog. You've never sunk a single bobber in your
Top of
fucking
the water.
pathetic life.
No,
David.
I have.
Your bobbers just sit on top of the water doing absolutely
Dude, my
nothing.
my shit bobs.
Nah.
Straight up
Nah.
bob alert. And if you're looking for the visual at home, if you're not watching this on the YouTube, it's a field. This is going to shock everybody. It's a field with a bunch of trucks, and they're just hanging out. Just hanging out as their friend does her video, her rap video. Keep going. I want to hear some more. This is getting me good. All right.
Oh shit.
And that's
This is this part where I cut it off when I watched this last week. I can't.
She was going into fried chicken and catfish or something. I kind of wanted to hear that last. There's 4 seconds.
All right, just play the damn
Yeah, we
thing.
got 4 seconds. I like smoked brisket.
Sweet smoked brisket.
I like sweet smoked brisket.
Maybe a little apple flavor pellets.
Okay. She's
In
not.
her- in her
she's not
Traeger.
using pellets.
Pellets.
Dave.
What kind of smoker is she using?
She's taking trees down herself, and she's chopping that wood.
She's got an offset like you've never seen.
She's got an offset hooked up to a trailer, and it moves big time meat.
Do you think she's concerned about her carbon footprint?
No, she's concerned that it might
No.
be getting too small.
You look like you have something to say, KJ.
I'll say this.
Okay.
There is I'm getting echo in on
Look at
my
that
side,
square
so
toe.
I'm sorry if it's reverbing. There's clearly a market for this. I don't know that market is like concerned with like types of wood very much, but I'm glad that she's successful.
Okay.
Wow. What a.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how
You
to.
re-
It's a meat smokers only take. That's all I'm going out with it. I don't know that meat smokers would be very interested in this.
She's team square toe.
Oh, West. She
According-
fancies herself a West Texas gal.
According to the still frame of this video right here, she is a West Texas gal.
She's probably got some acreage out there around Monahan's way.
That is a shock. She would
Uh-huh.
have definitely struck me as like a V cut.
What is that?
It's a
Is that
type of boot. I don't even know what you're going to call it.
I don't even. Okay.
What do you call it?
KJ's on his new shit right now.
Okay.
This
This song's gas. Don't try to tell
No,
me
it
it's
is
not.
not.
any significance to her dropping it in February?
Did she drop it in February or did it catch heat in February?
That's a great question. I don't know.
The times were slow at the farm. Like,
No, yeah, they're waiting on. They're waiting on a rain. I can't make fun of our farmers. You know, I support farmers. I was a future farmer for a while.
I didn't know that.
They kicked me out.
that,
I kept
Why?
I
growing.
was about to say that we didn't know about.
You kept growing that sticky.
I
instead
kept
of
growing
an actual
mushrooms.
crop? Okay.
They're like, "Why are you so concerned about the cow patties?" I was like, "I don't know, man."
Mhm.
Turns out I got a little side hustle. Oh, Randy's got something.
She dropped it February 16th, so this is very recent. I
very
saw it on-
This thing took off immediately.
And of course, what I was referencing was close to Valentine's Day, not Black History Month.
Wow. Wow.
I don't think anybody thought that.
Okay.
But
Those are two significant things this month.
I will note this. Like you can't judge based purely on what someone sounds like. You can't, like, you can have an idea what they might look like. I'm not here to point that out. I will point out that she's got what seems to be a very expensive set of tattoos. Like her arm sleeve / chest tat situation does not look cheaply done.
Oh,
So kudos to her for that. And I'm genuinely talking about like her tattoos.
You know,
Just
our producer
H involved.
has a fresh tattoo.
KJ just had to issue a no H involved disclaimer on his take.
No H though.
That's how you know you're the horniest guy, is when you have to start doing disclaimers. You're just making a point that's a fine point, and I don't think anybody thought you were going there.
just saying, don't H me up, man. Ref, I was talking to
You've
him in a
done-
friendly manner. I don't need an H here.
You've done plenty
Just
of
letting
that
everybody know.
yourself, KJ. You don't need to.
But Dylan, as a professional, took exactly where I was going with this and pivoted to our producer.
Yeah, Randy's got some fresh ink.
Oh, yeah, are we allowed to talk about that? KJ, tell the folk, or excuse me, Randall, tell the folks at home.
I got a tattoo.
Nice.
He crushed
Good
that.
shit.
He crushed that. That was like Dan hyping up Subs Dog when we had him on that one time. Subs Dog. Oh shit.
Randy's tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it was a fun show we did today. No reads.
Of course, you are now one of only 2 people in this company that is not inked up, David. What does that say about you?
Says I don't want to go to hell.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, man.
Have fun.
I assume Will is the other, or is Brett?
It's Will.
Will.
Brett's got one.
You don't want to put a
Okay.
You don't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari, right? Isn't that the
My body's a temple.
right?
It's also a wonderland.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look, man, look out for me. Watch out down the road. Maybe we'll see.
He's all
Oh.
talk, man. He's been talking about this tattoo
No,
for
no,
2 years
no.
now.
No. You know what I have been talking about for the last, I don't know, little while? Our good friends over at Babbel. KJ.
Go ahead, KJ.
Siempre dígame Babbel. Talk to me always about Babbel.
For most of us, KJ, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point of our careers. Hand up. As someone who has taken both Spanish in high school and Italian in college, got to tell you, didn't take it very seriously, didn't retain a ton of it. You'll be shocked to learn that. But now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an addictively fun and easy way to learn a new language, whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with your family, or you got some free time. Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. You know, like when you're putting on a presentation for your company based in Madison, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Very
You were
useful.
prepared to present in both languages. Didn't quite get to the point of delivering it, but that information will last for some time.
15-minute lessons. Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. I've been dabbling. I've been doing a little dabble babble. I don't think that's a thing that I should say, but it rhymed and I just said it anyway. But I have been dabbling in the product because it's a great sponsor. And let me tell you, I'm getting my Italian swagger back. I'm feeling it. You're about to catch me at Olive Garden next time we go as a group, and I'm going to be ordering almost entirely in Italian. I'm going to be ordering the scampi, Dylan, one of your favorite dishes, or Randy, the piccata, the chicken piccata.
You're so annoying.
With Babbel, Dylan, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Babbel's speech recognition tech helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, video stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Right now, get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/bang. That's BABBEL.com/bang. Babbel.com/bang for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. We're Babbel boys.
Oh yeah.
Now what? You guys want to talk darkness retreats, full swing?
Let's do full swing, and then we'll hit the sports part after that and knock out all the topics that are left on the tape.
You know what sucks is that Babel
Tape.
can't help me get rid of this nagging cough that I've had for the last 3 weeks. And I apologize. There's been frequent times where I've been holding it back. And if my voice inflection gets weird, that's why.
Did it go away when you were in Vegas, or like at least get better when you're in Vegas?
Yeah, but as you're aware, the smoky nature of the Vegas casino, I think it did more damage. And getting back into the allergies. It was very windy yesterday. Whatever. This is my life. Please feel sorry for me. If you want to Venmo me money, I'll take it.
The holding back the cough is sometimes almost worse than just going ahead and pulling the Sandy and clearing your throat.
So many.
Your eyes will start watering.
Yeah, and I get high voice, and I start doing like I try to cover it up with a laugh, but it's just pathetic. Anyway, enough about me. I don't want to make this show all about me. This show's about the last 4 episodes of Full Swing.
Episodes 5 through 8.
Let's just do overall thoughts of the last 4. And then we can jump into specifics, highlights, lowlights. Of course, you have the Matty Fitzpatrick DJ episode. You got Tony Finau, Colin Morikawa, Sahith Theegala, and Mito Pereira, and the Rory culmination of the FedEx Cup dub.
Is it not a little strange that 3 of the people featured in these episodes went on to win tournaments while they were being filmed? I'm a little confused by that.
I think multiple people. I think they have a ton of footage. We probably got 5%, 10% of what they actually recorded.
Oh, so they
had to.
They record. They were along the ride with numerous people.
Yeah,
and they happened to feature ones where they were winners. Not all of them, but like in 5 to 8, Matt Fitzpatrick won the PGA Championship. Tony Finau won. I don't remember which tournament, and of course Rory won the FedEx Cup.
Tony went back to back on him. Tony heard the haters talking, and he went B to B. Yeah. Let's start with Tony. Because I think, speaking for myself here, he was the highlight.
Absolutely.
How much did you know about Tony Finau going into this, KJ?
I'm ashamed to say the first thing that came to mind when I thought Tony Finau was the par 3 ankle injury.
Ankle dislocation.
Par 3 contest.
Oh, yeah.
Dislocation.
Didn't even get mentioned.
And it's so dumb because like he either won the week before that or was like leading the par 3 event, which nobody cares about who wins that event for the Masters on Wednesday, right? But dislocated his ankle, went on to continue playing that weekend.
Netted a top 10 or top 20.
Finished top 10 or top 20, but I think he might have been one of the top 3 favorites going into that weekend because it was very notable that injury happened. I can't remember the full circumstance, but like that's what came to mind anytime I think about Tony Finau. And nice guy. I had no idea how much I would walk away from it absolutely loving him as a golfer, as a person, everything else going into this episode. Like it all cleared.
Yeah. This episode was tough. I think so they have to like force a juxtaposition, Dylan. They did it with Matt Fitzpatrick and DJ, where they have to kind of work and craft a storyline and present it that way. And granted, there was not really much overlap between Colin and Tony, but Colin didn't exactly get the best edits. I think he came off as like, I didn't think he was unlikable, but he's compared to Tony, he's very unlikable.
He really didn't bring much to the table during this episode, did he?
I'm wondering if maybe like he didn't give them the kind of access that like Tony did, because Tony gave them more access than almost anybody and came out looking awesome.
I'm trying to think of scenes where he actually like stood out or like did anything. I mean, one of them comes to mind. He's meeting with Adidas about his outfits for the upcoming tournament. And he's just like, he comes off as kind of like, and to be fair, like if you didn't like an outfit, you should feel free to say, I don't like that outfit. But he just looked like kind of a dick, right? It was odd. Yeah,
that whole thing seemed like a beating for a tour pro to have to go in and they're like giving you their new ideas for designs, and you're just like, It's fine. Yeah, I
Which
don't know,
which
man.
you should be able to say, right? But he was like, "This seems like it'd be more for you." Like, isn't that what he said? Like, this is like a design for you, not for
Who's
me.
you? Who is that guy?
Like,
Is that guy?
okay.
Is he busting balls, or
It's like,
was that awkward?
Yeah, maybe he was, and he just got a bad edit. But yeah, he didn't look awesome. He didn't look terrible, but he didn't really bring much to the table in this one. And you put him next to Tony, who already had a reputation as being like the nice guy on tour. And this did little to, refute that. He seems to be like a very genuinely good person, family man. He's got hella game too.
Were y'all aware that the level of talent Tony has? Like, that's like a pretty common trope, and they definitely drove it home that like that's the knock on him. He's like top 5 most talented guys on tour, but just can't put it together. And I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was a little overplayed how they kind of played the family angle as if that was weighing him down, traveling with his family, which I'm sure that's stressful. I think if I were in his position or a tour pro in general with my life, I don't know if I would want to be going tournament to tournament with my family.
Yeah.
But shout out to him because he seems like a great dad. And I thought the most compelling shot of that episode was, or the scene, I guess, is back home.
The garage
where
door.
he grew up. The garage door, the mattress.
Those dents in the door, are we to believe those are from golf balls? Is that what the whole point of that was?
Yeah.
Okay. That was incredible.
They should. I'm sorry. I agree. They like. If I'm him, I'm buying that garage door. Like that sounds ridiculous. I don't know where you'd put it.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I assume somebody else lives there, but I feel like that's one of those random things that you just don't want to like just be torn down and be nothing. Maybe having the video of it is enough, and him and his dad going back and seeing it. But like, man, that was awesome to see.
Knock on the front door of that house. Like, hey, I'm Tony Finau. I grew up here. Here's 20 grand for that garage door. I'll replace yours. Just let me have it. Yeah, I agree. That's a very cool story to like craft your game or like build your game up in a garage like that because you can't afford to like actually go out to a golf course. That shit was awesome.
Can I tell you that there were 3 occasions on this episode as I'm watching it on my phone on the plane home from Vegas that I definitely teared up.
Dude.
And I was like, man, how much of this is me just being on a plane from Vegas? Because I was like, I had to like get Kleenex out because I was like, damn, dude, this is like.
If I'm not gonna cap and I don't plan to,
don't cap.
I teared up during the Matt Fitzpatrick W. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the part that got me. Can't explain it. Like he's like a nerdy little soft-spoken guy who's just like he's just all about the grind. Like
I loved his episode. I loved his part of the episode. DJ,
I was just extremely happy for him, and I forgot that he won that tournament until I was like watching it back. Because I almost feel like I was like learning live that he won the PGA Championship. But I was just incredibly.
It was the Open Championship.
Open Championship.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Didn't mean to sports you, but I did.
I got it confused with the was it JT who won the PGA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
JT. KJ, what was your knowledge of Matty Fitz?
Another nerdy looking little white guy.
Not a bad call.
I feel like I admitted my ignorance when we talked last week because he was in the Poulter episode, right? That was the Dale match play opponent he had that knocked Ian Poulter out, I believe.
Yes.
And I had no idea who it was. And I was almost bothered that they showed just that brief handshake. They interviewed Matt Fitzpatrick after. And I was like, okay, well, you've got this guy who, to me, again, just a name. And they didn't get any positive shots. So I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. And maybe we talked about it last year, did not stick with me. Could not have liked his portion of the episode or him, or like, I fully respect the grind. Love everything about the fact that they're like, hey, he's not a big guy. He works his butt off. He worked on his length. He got better.
We've all been working on our length.
Like, I focus on the grind more than that, but I think that it's important to understand, like, completely contrasted with Tony Finau. They're like, yeah, my dad was a corporate banker and my mom was in insurance, and they instilled in me that hard work is important. And here are all of the books from all of the country clubs and events that I've played in since I was 6 years old, where I was able to measure everything comfortably and pay attention to my game methodically. Now, he put in the work. There's no question about that. But then you contrast that with Tony Finau, who couldn't afford to go to the range, but like once a week. Doesn't mean that he's, that I have to hate him for it. But like watching that, even before I got to Tony Finau, I was like, all right, man, you're just a guy who really, really, really works his butt off. So if I'm to believe that Brooks Koepka was just a guy who really, really worked his butt off, like, you're small. And like, I get it. I did appreciate the whole he hasn't won on this tour angle.
Yeah.
I didn't love that, like, the guy that I was annoyed by last week, like, I commented how much I didn't like all of the writers being like the full narrative of this show. And then we get Fitzpatrick, and one of the writers we've been hearing from for the first 4 episodes is his best friend.
You didn't like the lack of journalistic integrity on their friendship. I didn't see people chirping about that, but I fully expected people to be mad about that. That he was, he's a journalist. He cannot pull for his friend.
I loved the parts where he was like emotionally like rooting for him the day of. That was tremendous. I loved those shots, but I didn't care for him showing up with his laptop. Sorry, I got to hit send on this real quick. Fire this off. Like, I don't care for that part.
Did you remember that Matt? Okay, we knew like illustrious amateur career, but did you know that he would hit us with the Skechers in the major tournament? He catches that dub and some Sketchies. What'd you think about that? I forgot about that, and I was like, "Oh, dude, he's a Skechers guy." And I think somebody in the crowd called him out for it.
Really?
I think they on one of the tee boxes. I swear to God, dude, they got some pretty timely and like vicious crowd noise.
Oh
stuff
yeah,
from Mito's episode where that guy's like, "Biggest shot of your life." And
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, that 9-iron that Fitzpatrick hit out of the bunker on 18 was fucking sick. That was so dirty. I don't remember that shot at all. Unbelievable.
That was sick.
But yeah, they aired a lot of shots from the crowd that were pretty below the belt, seemed like.
The entire intro for Matt Fitzpatrick was just like, "Hey, if you thought this guy was like an alpha, he's not. Not at all, actually. Guy's really into the numbers." I love that about him, that he probably remembers every shot he's ever hit.
Yeah.
That's cool. That golf brain, it's not something I can relate to, obviously, but I love that there's guys like that out there and they're winning. And that's kind of similar to Bryson, but he's way less annoying than Bryson.
Way less
annoying. And DJ's in this episode too. I don't know if anything stuck out.
So
I
is
thought
Paulina.
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I didn't hate DJ. He wasn't memorable, but like, I think that everything they showed of him, like, I don't know that I knew his backstory as much as like I was familiar with his last 5 years. So I was happy that they went back to showing like, hey, he won early, and I knew how like, that he was number 1 in the world for quite a bit of time. And like, I knew more about like his overall career than I knew about the start and how early on he won. So I was happy with that. I would contrast the decision to wear Skechers with the questionable decision to play basketball in a tube top. Both unnecessary decisions. At least one person was getting paid for it. Paulina playing basketball in a strapless shirt was completely unnecessary.
You just weren't a fan of that?
It made no sense.
You don't think that's
like,
a thing that happens organically? Like, that's not just what's going down at home when they're hanging out without the cameras?
That was their Thursday afternoon shoot around. Come on.
No, I think all in all, like, DJ, I don't know if he got bad edits. He didn't come off like that he was the DJ that you think he's going to be. And it's like a guy who doesn't say much. And I think the most interesting thing he said was like, you're an idiot, basically, if you don't take the money from LIV. He's like, I'm getting paid more to play less, which, yeah, that's his boilerplate. That's okay. When you look at it that way, if that's what drives
that kind of pissed me off, honestly.
Oh shit, here we go. Sound off.
To say like, yeah, he was comparing it to like a regular like, corporate job. He's like, look, if a company comes to you and it's like, here, you can work less and make more money, would you take it? Obviously, but there's so much more at play here that you're just completely glossing over. Like, I don't know, the money comes from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
It's blood money, Dave.
What's
Human
that mean?
rights records, 9/11.
Oh,
all this shit.
famously.
It's not that
Infamously.
simple, man. It's just not.
Yeah.
Don't brush the other stuff under the rug just because it's not all about money. Yeah, that irritated me quite a bit.
Fair. I don't really have much else on that, or at least
Can I
on DJ.
add to the Morikawa section real quick?
Please do, because I've got something else on it too.
Okay, because I will say, like, I liked him overall. I think the Adidas edit was bad because you got to imagine he said that he liked something in that session. Like he probably liked one shirt. He did like the pants, and they contrasted with what he didn't like. I was gonna say if they walked away and like only showed what he didn't like, that was a little strange. They showed his fiance, but I don't think she had any interview parts kept in the show, which we heard from Paulina. We heard from Tony's wife. We heard from
Joel Damon's.
Jenna Sims. From who?
Joel Damon's wife.
Joel Damon. Yes. And the same for Ian Poulter. Like, so I imagine either she got interviewed or she just didn't want to be a part of it. I think that would have been helpful. I also don't know, like, I think it's accurate to a degree to tie Morikawa and Tony Finau back to Tiger Woods. Like, I think that's important, but I felt like they like spent the first 5 minutes of this episode being like, these are extensions of Tiger Woods.
I think it's
and
any
then like you
excuse
get
to
the Tony
Tiger in.
Finau story to be like, yeah, like, and then you get the Tony and Tiger story of like when Tiger was winning at the Masters, like he barely was like, yeah, sure. What, like there's no direct connection that they could have talked about there. So influence, yes, but you could say that about every single golfer in this show if you're being faithful about it.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, they obviously did not get Tiger access. So like they know the casual is going to want to see some Tiger stuff. And, you know, that's significant. I thought it was cool to round out the Rory episode. The first text he gets when he wins a tournament is from Tiger. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And they're buddies. My only other thing on the Tony episode, shout out to my man Scott Piercy for catching that stray. He's just sitting at home. He's like, man, I hope nobody remembers that I had a colossal meltdown
At the 3M.
and that's the second tournament Tony won, I think, right? Back to back.
The first. No, he
No,
did
was that the
3M,
first?
then Rocket Mortgage.
Okay. And he just had a colossal meltdown, and like they didn't talk to him at all, which he's Scott Piercy. He's, you know, not a very known quantity on tour, but I was just like, damn, I hope he's sitting at home like, oh, let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Oh no. There it is. That's in the water. Not good at all.
I'd also like to add real quick that they talked about the narrative of his family being a distraction. I get it. They beat it over the head so many times. His family's on tour. They even asked Colin Morikawa about it because you know that Morikawa didn't bring that up. Like he didn't talk about Tony's family traveling with him. They asked him about that, just like they asked Koepka about Scotty Scheffler. They like that wasn't like out of the blue. So a lot of that seemed like driven narrative, appropriately so, but it seemed almost more like everybody else giving their opinion of what wouldn't work for them. And Tony kind of acknowledged that later. But for him to not only win back to back with family for one of the two, I think, and then doing that with the Netflix crew in tow on top of having family there. Because that next Netflix crew, I don't know if you saw the shots. I think Matt Fitzpatrick, after his win, they're like going into one of the locker rooms. Or maybe it's Colin Morikawa when he's going to bitch about his gloves. You see that there's 4 cameramen like following these people with gigantic camera rigs. Like it is not a low key shooting crew at all.
It's not
like,
Randy with a phone.
Or Hard Knocks where they set up cameras in certain spots because it's contained area. Like they're a big ass distraction inside the houses and everything. And like Tony performed with them in tow. So like he needs credit not only for doing that with family there, 6 kids, but with Netflix in his freaking hotel room and at his house and on the road with him. Like, you know, that should have been put to bed.
Bums me out that Mito is now on, he's a LIV guy now, along with his buddy Joaquin Neiman. Because he's I mean, the guy was one hole away from winning a major in his rookie year, right?
That was in Tulsa.
It wasn't Tulsa, famously, but that was brutal to watch that again. He handled it very well, but did you notice when he was walking, like after, he's out of it, he missed the playoff. And as he's walking to the tunnel, somebody is like yelling, like little kids yelling for his glove, and he takes his glove off and then just trashes it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a little unfair because it looked like he was taking it off to give it. And then it's like he had second thoughts. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to rip it up and throw it away.
Yeah, but when you're walking off a course like that, under any circumstance, you're probably going to get like someone asking you for something, hand out or throw me your glove or whatever it might, or autograph, whatever it might be. So a moment of frustration, I wouldn't put too much into it. But I enjoyed that episode a lot. I liked that they focus on a rookie. He was with, two rookies, Thigala too.
Yeah, Sahith Thigala, who's
Notably from Orange County.
seems like a cool dude. Is he an Orange County guy?
I don't know that he's the same person that my what would you call it? Integrity was questioned while we were in Montana.
Yes. I wasn't going to bring this up, but go ahead.
I believe it was Thigala. But ESPN, when they do their leaderboards, oftentimes they will have the little flag emblem of the golfer's home country. Again,
Yes.
Thigala is from the U.S. However, he is Indian American. I am like 999.99% sure that at one time they had shown the Indian flag next to his name. Regardless, I'd made comment about him being an Indian golfer or from India, I believe. Good friend of the show, Jake Kemp, questioned, what would make you think of that?
We piled
and
on.
I believe David was there too to comment on like, no, he's like from LA or something, which he is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I forgot about
But
that.
the first
was so
article
great.
you find, they label him, they note that he is Indian American. And I was very grateful to like find out he was not like Sri Lankan. And I was just completely irresponsible. Anyways, back to the show.
I forgot how his shot, how he's about to win the waste management, and he hits a great drive and just gets a little bit of a bad bounce and loses the tournament. That was sad. That was one of the most sad parts of the entire series, was watching him. Like, I forgot he just cried his way through his press conference, and it was very good footage. It was very raw. His interactions with his pops was cool. But man, good year for those guys. I thought that was a decent episode.
Favorite episode 5 through 8?
Maybe the Joel Damon?
5 through 8.
Oh, 5 through 8. I'm sorry. Damn, that's tough.
I'm gonna
Favorite overall episode was the Matt Fitzpatrick one.
Okay.
I thought Tony had the best storyline.
For me, it's probably Rory. I've always liked Rory, and he's kind of taken on the role of being like the number one ambassador for the PGA Tour. It's like him and Justin Thomas are kind of up there. He's up there too, but Rory has really done a great job. And I like him. I already liked him a lot. I like him even more after this. I love that he goes to bat for the PGA Tour and says what he wants to say. And I agree with pretty much everything he has to say. And then to watch him win the FedEx Cup like that was obviously cool to see too.
I
from behind the scenes.
appreciated him lamenting the fact that it got a little personal with LIV, because I think, I think we all kind of skew pro team tour here, but there were times when Roy was just kind of out there, and it did seem like he was kind of going at some dudes, maybe some personal beefs, but overall, I thought the Rory one was good. The FedEx Cup, I wonder if the FedEx Cup would be something like way more important. And I know they have to have a sponsor on it, but like if it wasn't called the FedEx Cup, if it was called like, I don't know, the Johnson Cup or the 2 Girls 1 Cup
Or the PGA Cup.
Right?
How about that? Something just generic.
Yeah, I think.
Isn't it the Players Champion or no? Players Championship's different. So yeah, they do need more of a generic name. Golf does well with generic names.
Because and KJ, they did a decent job of kind of explaining how it works. Did that help you at all? Because I mean,
no, I was so bitter about hating it that like whatever the opposite of rose-colored glasses was. Like I was just watching, like, yeah, whatever, get this shit out of here. Like I appreciated that they acknowledged that it was confusing as hell. Like I think they realized somebody needed to explain, like, hey, what is all this building towards? Because all through this season, they've shown like, you win this tournament, here's your purse. We've established if you don't make the cut, you don't get any money. We've established the LIV has guaranteed money. And now they also mentioned the social media money, which Tony Finau won like $5 million of last year or the year before. So shouts to him.
Go by the garage door, Tony.
Yeah, I had to look up his career earnings, which he's like at 50 million just from tour winnings.
He
so
could also
it's all right.
He could do the T-Boone Pickens where he gets his child at home and just moves it onto his property as it moves.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That seems like, I don't know, like such a psychologist. A therapist somewhere would have like a field day with that. Anyways, the Rory episode, I have to admit that all of my bias against Rory, I really love that he acknowledged that he made it personal. I don't think that if it was a Rory and Patrick Reed episode, like I don't think I would have come out of it like liking Patrick Reed anymore. And I'm not going to say that I hated Rory anymore afterwards, but I just kept watching it with the same kind of annoyance from last year of like, why does he feel like he has to be the one to do all of this? When I get the whole Nicholas letter and all of this stuff, and he's taking it personal. And I think Palmer and Nicholas wrote him letters after his first win. A lot of that to me is like, I don't know. It's like
not genuine.
That story could have been, I don't know, like he won early in his career, and we've seen multiple players who've been lauded as young golfers win early in their career, and they were not selected to be the next Rory McIlroy, who was like selected by Nike to be the next Tiger. And I'm like, okay, why didn't anybody write a letter to Jordan Spieth early on? I mean, we got that in the media that Jordan was the next Tiger for years and years and years. I get it. And I get why you don't want Jordan Spieth to be your ambassador, but I just was so exhausted last year of how much it was like Rory versus LIV when he's not, nobody voted him team captain. And last I checked, Northern Ireland didn't have anything to do with 9/11. So,
okay,
there's a lot more to it than just that. Obviously.
I know. I'm joking. I know there's way more golf related, but like, I would like somebody to bring a nationalistic approach into it, and it ain't Roy.
Yeah, I don't. No, I think Rory realizes like outside of Tiger, like he's the guy who can. Tiger was outspoken too. They didn't give you too much of his stuff, his pro PGA, anti-LIV stuff, but the three of them are like the three figureheads, and they I don't know, they get the tour was on its heels, man. They felt pretty threatened, and they had to send out their big dogs, their big guns, and they did.
We haven't even mentioned Cam Smith. I forgot earlier that Colin Morikawa and Rory shots, the back-to-back shots. That footage was tremendous, just as great as it was seeing it live. But the Cam Smith discussion throughout all of this with the Open, I thought that was also like realizing at the end of it, like, oh, now Cam Smith's heading to LIV. Like they did a really good job with like highlighting like this is not just some players that are past their prime or late in their career. They landed on realizing like the number 3 in the world who just won the 150th Open is now going to LIV. Like they nailed it, I think, with that.
I may have misspoke earlier. I think when I corrected Dylan, I might have said the U.S. Open, and it was actually the Open Championship.
You said Open Championship.
It might have been the other way. Were you talking about Cam?
No, I was talking about Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah. Matty Fitz, of course, won the U.S. Open, so I apologize for my error.
Oh, we were both wrong then because I said the PGA Championship.
Just a couple dummies.
Yeah.
One's DHL, one isn't.
Do you think Cam handled his press conference well when the first question he was asked was about LIV?
So bad.
He answered it the way he should have answered it, but I loved the response. I just won the Open Championship, and I think the response was, I appreciate that, but the question still stands. I thought that was a tremendous, non-dickish way to like I get it, man, but this is my question.
I just I hated it when the dudes were like, that's something my team's going to worry about. Not me.
That was Cam Smith's
Oh,
line.
yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I guess I'm sure you have no say in that
Yeah.
whatsoever. That's like you get that a lot with boxing. And it it's like, hey, hey, Bud Crawford, why haven't you fought Errol Spence yet? My team, that's my team, it's my promoter's decision. Blah, blah. It's like, dude,
I'm sure you have
nobody
some
wants to
say.
hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Agreed.
didn't like that response from Cam at all.
Overall, thumbs up. I don't think this is. I think I would have watched it even if we didn't do a podcast on it. I don't think I would be like rushing out to tell people like, dude, you have to watch this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for season 2. I think they'll improve upon some things. But overall, what did y'all think? Final thoughts.
I enjoyed it. If they were going for a Drive to Survive level of notoriety and advocacy for the game, they probably fell short by quite a bit. But I still enjoyed it. I like to get behind the scenes look at some guys that you don't really know too well.
Sure.
It's Fitzpatrick types. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Overall, liked it. I would say my expectations were exceeded. Disappointed only in the sense of like, you had by far the best year of golf storylines to put together a show with. And this was good, but like, I don't know what more I could have wanted. I just was disappointed with all of the narratives being driven by 4 golf writers or 3 golf writers, including Amanda Renner and David Foley. I think his name is Sean Foley. By the 4 of them kind of like carrying the narrative through all of the episodes. Give me more caddies. Give me golfers who aren't even the featured golfers. Like we got Ricky Fowler in the first episode doing interviews. Never even focused on Ricky Fowler. And I thought that was good context. Get more random people to give you feedback on like people that are in the room.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you had an entire episode like about Justin Thomas and his caddy's Bones. His caddy was on Phil's bag forever. And like Bones is an interesting guy.
Will talk and he will talk.
We really didn't get anything. That's interesting. I wonder what the story with that is. But I think season 2 is going to be more for the golf nerd. I think they're going to build on it and be like, okay, we got season 1. We're going to carry it over. We're going to get a little bit more into the weeds on like, Brooks Koepka's not playing good. Why? Where's he lacking? Is he, he's just not scoring well, but why? What's going on? Like outside of him just being frustrated at his house.
Can I add one more quick note? So I was reading a recap after the Rory episode. They didn't have Rory signed on until the event in Atlanta. So there was footage that they had regarding like his performance at the Open, like that they kind of had as B-roll footage. So like it wasn't the most compelling stuff like they had with some of the other golfers that they were focusing on each episode. And I think that plays in like Dylan's question earlier about like how tremendous was it that they got Tony Finau when he won, that they got who else am I thinking won when they were following
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. They were focusing on and Rory winning at the end. And I think some of it was luck. Like there's a lot of B-roll footage, but they did not have agreements from every single player until, throughout the season. And I wonder how much of the LIV situation drove more players to say, you know what, maybe I would have been like out on this initially, but like as the LIV situation came up, like now this is a chance to control some of that narrative. I wonder if that's what drove Rory in and probably like what drove like Bryson out of it, like with how his season ended up unfolding of him being like, yeah, I have no interest in talking because obviously we got no Bryson.
Yeah, I hope we can get something from Bryson next year because like we didn't even talk about it, but he's like kind of backed off on the bulking. So I do find that I found it interesting when he was doing it, and now I'm always curious like what people are doing for like, to stay in shape or to do things like that, longevity, swing speed, all that. But
even
overall,
if it doesn't work, I want to see them overthinking it, and I want to see them in the lab. I agree.
100%. Okay, well, good stuff.
Great stuff.
We put a bow on it, guys. That's what we just did there.
Fun show.
So I got an email this morning. It's from my good friends at Rocket Money.
Oh, yeah.
They give me emails and they let me know, here's how you spent money last week. And as someone who was in Vegas for a good portion of last week, got a little worried. Turns out I spent less. And it was good to know. It was a good email, but it's just good that they're keeping me aware. Rocket Money, they're going to help you with subscriptions too. Do you know how much your subscriptions cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions when the total is actually closer to $200.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how much you're spending every month, you need Rocket Money. The average person has around 12 paid subscriptions. Think about that. How many you got? You probably have like 30.
I don't know if I have 30, but so many people have more than they realize they have. And a few of them are like not even being used anymore.
Hand up.
Maybe you signed up for a free trial and forgot to cancel, or you just, I don't know. There are so many streaming services now, for example, and people like use it for like a couple months and stopped, and they've been paying for them ever since. So frustrating.
Can I make a quick confession?
Please.
Before using Rocket Money, I'd signed up for 2 different streaming services for the same product, 2 music streaming services, all because I wanted an end of the year like promotion that they were doing. Fast forward 6 months, I'm still paying for the same exact product in 2 places until Rocket Money showed me that I was just burning money.
Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, it's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. It's phenomenal. I was like a little bit like, oh man, I don't know if I want to be getting emails about how much I'm paying, like spending month to month, but I've loved it. It's been very helpful. It helps me stay focused on securing my financial future.
Absolutely.
Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/bang. That's rocketmoney.com/bang. Can't recommend it enough. Whew. Where do we go from here?
Where are we at? I think let's just do sports party.
You want
got the other story in the can, but I definitely want to dig more into the Baylor comparison, which I'm not prepared to do today. But I've got all the deets on what's going on in Alabama, what's happened in New Mexico, and I want to tie Baylor into that and do one big story.
Do you have any takes on I don't know, maybe a pat down entrance that went down on Saturday? Apparently that's something he does every game, but maybe you table it.
Is that true?
That's a part of the story too. Yeah.
Is that true that he does that every game? Like, do we have evidence? Okay. I don't give a shit, dude. You can't fucking do that in this instance. Somebody like literally was shot and killed.
Yeah. Look, I shouldn't say I'm excited to get into the story, but as someone who's just followed it from 30,000 feet, like there's a lot going on, and I think you want to do that next week? Let's do it next week.
We'll do it next week. Yeah. I've got to admit, like, not even to be the results will shock you guy, but until I sat down and read like the detailed explanation as to like, why is this person still playing? Why is this a conversation? It certainly may have begun to change my perception of, I don't know, maybe things that occur in Waco or other schools where like the knee-jerk reaction is like, no, get this person out of here immediately. So yeah, more on that next week.
Let's party. This is the part of the show where we talk sports and party at the same time. Aaron's out. Aaron Rodgers is out of the darkness retreat, his 4-day
You merely adopted
retreat.
the darkness, David.
He literally did adopt it.
I was born in it.
You weren't born in it. You were probably born in a hospital.
Yeah, it's true. They had the lights on.
The lights were on. They have generators, even if the power goes out.
That's true. Have we heard from him since he emerged?
I'm sure he'll be doing McAfee.
Ask Pat.
Yeah, it's a McAfee play. 100% doing McAfee this week.
What was it like in there, man? It's going to be an insufferable one.
He has not made an announcement or a decision or anything of that sort. Quick breaking news: Carson Wentz has been released by the Commanders after one season. Not to pivot off the Aaron Rodgers story, but I was just checking to make sure we had no updates.
Oh, so little backup quarterback controversy in Dallas.
He stinks, baby.
He does. He does. And I feel bad for him. I would feel really, really bad for him if he hadn't got the bag, but he did get the bag.
He's fine. He's
Yeah,
doing
he's fine.
just fine.
He's eating dinner at Carve, according to Brett.
Give me Cooper Rush all day.
Carve. Looks like somebody's in on the XFL.
It's not me. Must be
All
KJ.
the way.
Dude,
All the way.
I'm having fun with it. Not that I'm watching it, but I'm following the highlights and the social stuff.
I can't get in on it for the same reason I can't get into MLS because it's not the top. It's not the cream of the crop talent wise. It doesn't excite me enough.
Wow.
What do you
Viva
like about
Verde, which means green in
I'm a Verde
Spanish.
guy,
Shouts to Babel.
I'm a Verde guy because they're an Austin team, not because of they're an MLS team.
What are you
Dude, this
liking
hot,
about
Colin.
the XFL, KJ?
I'm going to admit that I don't love some of the difficulties they've had having like productive offenses on the field, but I found myself like watching 3.5 quarters of football on last Thursday night. I can be like, my attention can be bought for a Tuesday through Thursday like window of sports at this part of the year. The weekend slots I'm not as in on, but Thursday night football, a little 9 o'clock action. If I'm not, out with the boys, which is just happening so much here in Madison.
Hooters.
Yeah, with the Alphas.
My time is available. Yeah, my time is available. So I'm all the way in on having live sports that aren't tied to regional sports network headaches like some of the other leagues.
Fair. And I think if you can start seeing guys who make their name in the XFL or like revive their careers and go to the NFL and have success, I would be much more likely to watch it. It's cool. I'll be honest. I'm rooting for I almost said Jay DiNucci. Ben DiNucci. Jay DiNucci, our famously our old CFO at Grand X.
Former Cowboys legend.
Yes, he's balling. Him and Josh Gordon. I always pull for Josh Gordon, former Baylor great. Kicked off the team for weed by Art Browse. Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
And he hasn't put down the pipe since.
No, he's still smoking. Good for him.
Oh,
It's looked at differently now.
okay. Yeah, that's why he's in Washington. It's legal there in Seattle.
Ooh.
It
great
was
point.
Ben DiNucci versus AJ McCarron. And then former Miami quarterback De'Aaron King is another starting quarterback. There's some names. I'm not even in there for the notoriety as much as I am like it's somewhat competent football at a time at which I'd be like watching Shark Tank. So I'm in on it.
Also, gonna go ahead and get out in front of it. There's gonna be times, and maybe we just did it, where we confuse XFL stuff that happened with like USFL and whatever, the other. So, apologies if that just happened.
LIV Golf made their national television debut over the weekend, Dave.
Oh, was it okay? What channel?
Take a guess.
ESPN,
Close?
NBC,
Nope.
the Golf Channel,
The CW.
C-Dub. That's right.
If you missed it, you weren't alone because almost everyone did miss it. It recorded an overnight rating of 0.2. And I didn't really know what those numbers meant until I looked it up. It basically means that 0.2% of people in this country tuned in to watch LIV Golf over the weekend. Compared to the Honda Classic, they got a 2.4. And you're thinking, oh, it was probably on like a major channel. It was on a major channel. But David, it was the Honda Classic, a very watered down field.
It was
that
not a
featured,
good leaderboard.
Like headliners were like Shane Lowry and like Zeege, no offense. And no one else showed up because it's kind of like sandwiched in between like bigger tournaments that the big dogs go to. A shit tournament that recorded a 2.4 compared to LIV's 0.2, and I'm very happy about it.
We'll give it some time.
No, don't want to.
We'll give it some time. See how it
Don't want
goes.
to.
Could come back. Could come back strong.
I don't know if they were also collecting numbers from viewers on the app because, some of us were watching on the LIV Plus app. It's all blurry. You can't see it. But, whatever. I get it.
Wow.
I think it includes app numbers.
This
too.
guy was dialed.
I was there for the Crushers' first win of the season.
Dude, shout out to the Crushers. The Crushers.
By the way, the guy who won the LIV, I don't know the name of the LIV tournament. Charles Howell III, I think, was the winner.
CH3.
$4 million for first. That's a lot. Chris Kirk
Sounds
won
like a good business decision.
Chris Kirk won the Honda Classic, by the way.
One of the only people to successfully go from the NFL to the PGA Tour and win a tournament.
He left the Jaguars after 2 years.
He did.
Mayakoba is where this tournament
That's right. The Mayakoba.
Hey, happy Combine and happy John Jones Fight Week. Big week here.
Combine's fun, man.
Oh, I'm excited. I'll be, catching it on the Soch. I don't know if I'll sit home and tune in on it, but as somebody who's going to have to do a combine here in the next couple months, I will have my eye on it. See if there's anything I can pick up. Any tips from the fellas.
Let's go, Bijan.
Let's go, Bijan.
Run a 4.5. Run a 4.5.
See, I'm regretting not thinking about who was all with you in Vegas, as good dude Michael was there, as he would be one of the few people that could be reached and vouch for my athletic prowess. I could have asked him to give you a firsthand
Bud Light's ultimate
what do you call
tailgater,
it?
Michael? What are you talking about?
With David over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Firsthand testament to what my capabilities might be in a combine setting. So that's unfortunate oversight on my part. Over under set at 0.5 of D's we see during the combine this week.
Ooh, I think this will be a completely dickless combine. We might see some dick prints, but I don't think we're going to see any straight up dong.
Think meat's gonna fall out somewhere?
It's happened before.
It has happened before. No meat. Over under at 0.5 of reports of teams asking inappropriate questions regarding individuals' sexual preferences.
Hey, I heard your mother was a prostitute. What's that like?
Yeah, what was that like?
That's a thing. That's a thing that happened. That is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
To Des.
They take it a little far.
Yeah.
John Jones is back.
Surrogan.
Over under on any lines being done.
Hopefully he did, because he tends to fight very well when he's spiraling. But no, look, I think John Jones wins by submission. He's gonna take this fight to the ground. Gonna be fun though. It's his first fight at heavyweight. He looks fucking stacked, so it's gonna be interesting. And that, my friends, concludes the sports party.
The same very terrible
Quick late addition.
Elon tweet has been at the top of my feed every time I've gotten on Twitter today, and I'm so sick of him forcing his trash tweets down our throats all the time. I'm sorry.
Hashtag blocked.
A lot of people around the office say that about you.
Guy's a total twerp.
Unnecessary.
KJ, talk Paul Fury. Hyphen.
The fact that I'm at a point in my life where my older brother is sending me stream links to watch fights like this in the middle of a Sunday, and I'm like, please don't. He's like, no, you need to watch this. And I checked it out. I was excited to see that Logan Paul, correct?
This was Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul, I'm sorry. Logan Paul's more than competent wrestler in WWE. Jake Paul was getting pieced up, outpunched, outlanded, fought his way back into it. Some real bad reports of a script where he was supposed to win by knockout in the 8th. But yeah, by split decision. He was handed his first loss by Tyson Fury. So I don't know if Tyson Fury does any of the singing, but shouts to Will.
Tyson's his brother. This was
sorry.
This
whatever.
was Tommy
You know what I
Ladd.
mean. Tommy Fury.
If this
whatever.
was- if
T
this was-
Fury.
If this was Tyson Fury, this fight would have been over in the first round, probably
Yeah.
in the first minute.
Yes, it would have been very ugly.
Yeah, I have to admit, I didn't watch any of it. I know one person who streamed it, it's KJ, and one person who actually purchased it, Will and Sally.
Yeah, Sally,
I
a big
figured they
Tommy
would
fan.
have.
I might have tuned in if it weren't running against the Mavs Colossal Meltdown. But yeah, man, we're not even talking about that. Look, Tommy Fury's not a good boxer. He could certainly whip most people's asses, but like as far as like pedigree, he's not his brother, not anywhere near it. But Jake Paul is a knockout guy who he could knock out an old MMA fighter. A guy who's been hit, in the face 100 times, like hard, and been possibly knocked out many times in the past. Tommy Fury, from what I've been told, looked competent. And
Yeah, looked
obviously
respectable.
looked respectable, which, shout out to him. There was going to be at least one rematch, probably 3, probably a trilogy thing, but
This is Tommy Fury's biggest payday, right? Like probably by a wide margin.
yes.
Against
It looked like a boxing
YouTuber.
match. I'll say that. Like, it didn't look like Fight Night. Even Fight Night amped up between like people who look like fighters. It looked like a boxing match, and that's testament to both. Anyways, that's all I got.
Let's run it back.
Let's run it back. Of course, the segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. KJ was so close to translating the Babel read into Spanish for our listeners today.
Missed opportunity.
Dave has never sunk a bobber in his life.
Okay.
We have 3 Dave ones in a row here. You ready? Dave is never going to get inked like Randy, Brett, or me because he's too soft.
Doesn't want to go to hell.
Dave continues to work on his length.
I said we all did. You saying you don't stretch?
And finally, KJ wants the PGA Tour ambassador to be someone not from Northern Ireland, a country famously not attacked during 9/11.
And not involved in attacking on 9/11.
That's true.
They did not do a 9/11 to our
Right.
knowledge.
He wants it to be someone who is from this country, the country that was
I
attacked.
kind of regret that one.
And that concludes
Reading
Run
it back.
Fun one, guys.
Very cool.
Did you have fun, Dave?
I had a lot of fun.
That's good.
See you next week.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Chips with the dip, that's all I know. I don't want my chips plain, I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.